That day, my daughter Adeline lay in her hospital bed, her face veiled, holding my hand, her eyes full of fear. Mom, will the operation be successful? She whispered, her voice trembling. Of course. I whispered comfort, but the bottom of my heart was faint and easy. You are very brave. Mom is waiting for you outside. She nodded and closed her eyes. The red light in the operating room outside the door lit up and the operation began. Half an hour later, the phone rang and it was Paul's voice. Harris was in a car accident, and I'm going to be with Beatrice for tests, so I may not make it to Adeline's surgery. Beatrice's cries over the phone made my heart take. After I hung up, I could only hold back tears. At that moment, the lights in the operating room suddenly went out and the doctor hurried out with a solemn expression and said, I'm sorry, Adeline's kidney has been transferred to another critically ill patient. My mind went blank and I could hardly stand. I stared at the familiar figure at the end of the corridor. Paul. That's Adeline's kidney. She waited a whole year. I was so angry that I ran over and slapped him in the face. Paul, whose mouth bled from the beating, remained calm and cold. Calm down, Harris is in more danger. Beatrice has only one son. We owe her our lives. Consider it a debt. His indifference completely crushed me and I struggled to sit slumped and watch the lights come back on. I know. It's over. After the operation, Adeline became weaker and weaker. She smiled and asked, is Daddy busy? I swallowed my emotions and fed her soup. He'll come when he's done. At that moment, Paul came in, pretended to be a loving father, took Adeline in his arms, smiled, and left within 5 minutes. I sneered. Why, can't keep it up? He glanced at me with a frown. I'll find Adeline a kidney as soon as I can, but Harris is a child and I can't watch him die. He said coldly, as if I were the one who was cold and heartless. I responded coldly. Adeline is very ill. She needs to be taken care of. He waved impatiently. You're not a doctor, is it useful to stay here? Don't push me so I don't get distracted and lose track of my kidney. Cold fear gripped me. My heart was dead. To find out that Adeline's life was his weapon against me. I gritted my teeth and said, okay, I'll make soup. When I turned around, I suddenly saw a dark, staggered a few steps. Paul quickly supported me, a worried look in his eyes. Haven't you had enough rest? I'll take you to be examined. I pulled away from his hand and said coldly, don't bother, you. I'll take care of Beatrice and Harris. Paul's face darkened. He called the nurse and pinned me down on a chair. Alice, must you torture yourself like this? Soon after, the nurse held up my report, her face grim. It's a tumor. I calmly took it and locked it in a drawer. Don't tell my husband. But you need treatment. Don't worry, I'll handle it myself. Later, I arrived at Beatrice's hospital room with a pot of soup. Her pale face was mocking. Look who's here, bringing me and Harris soup himself, she said sarcastically. Ignoring her provocation, I put down the soup and prepared to leave. Her voice pierced my heart like a viper. How long will your baby girl last? A month? It seems my son's timing was just right. I turned back angrily and slapped her in the face. As I raised my hand to fight again, Paul suddenly appeared, grabbed my wrist and pushed me away. Alice, Beatrice saved your life, and this is how you repay her. Beatrice put on a pathetic face and sobbed softly. I've volunteered to help Alice, don't blame her. It's my fault. It's useless. Paul pointed coldly towards the door. Get out? Are you both mothers who can't understand each other? I leaned against the wall, my heart dying. At this moment, I finally understand that the most helpless person is myself. Since the age of 19, my whole life has been in Beatrice's shadow, and I have never been able to escape it.